A lot of the times people have ideas of who they think we are. Some people think that they know who you are based on what they think, based on the story in their minds. Now, what people think we are is not who we really are. So to find out who we really are, we have to move past what we think we are, what other people think we are, and we have to go a little bit deeper. We have to look beyond what is appearing at the surface. Because to find out who you really are, we have to move past what society thinks you are. We have to move past what your family thinks you are. We have to move past what your friends think you are. We have to move past even beyond who you think you are right now. Because who we think we are is something that we picked up from the conditioning of society. So in this video, I'm going to be sharing with you the secret to find out who you really are. Not what other people think you are or even what you think you are, but the secret to find out who you really are at the core. So if you're new to this channel, what I want you to do is to hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell, because I do post a new video every single day. Also, if you want to work with me one-on-one personally, hit the link that's in the description box of this video to apply for a free consultation. So the very first thing that you can do to find out who you are and get one step closer to finding out who you really are beyond the conditioning and the surface level appearances that pop up in your life, which is something that might not seem surface level to you right now or to a lot of people because they cling and attach. But the first thing that you can do is spend more time alone. Because a lot of people are afraid to spend time with themselves. This is what a lot of people are scared to do. They're scared to step into who they really are. A lot of people think that they want to find out who they really are, but are you ready to spend more time alone? Now, I'm not saying that every single human being has to spend more time alone to get closer to the truth of who you are, but a lot of the times it is. This is one way to do it. For me personally, what I had to do was I had to take that time out for myself. I had to take that time to isolate myself, to separate myself from what I've known, from what I was brought up in. Because the thing is, when we're lost in what we know, what we are comfortable with, what we attach to unconsciously, it's very difficult to get closer to the truth of who you are when there's not even an opportunity to connect with yourself. We're so lost in other people's worlds that we forget our own world. We're so lost in what other people think we should be doing, we forget that we have a deep heart desire where we want to be doing something, not because somebody told us, but because it comes out of our true being. It comes out of the truth. It comes out of the truth. It comes out of the actuality of what you are, not a story that is projected onto the actuality of life. So here's the thing. If you can spend more time alone, if you can spend more time with yourself, you're going to get one step closer to finding out who you really are. And this is just what worked in my life. I'm not saying that this is necessary, but this is a powerful secret. If you can become content, being yourself, being by yourself, being in your own presence, which is something a lot of people are really scared to do. This is going to be one of the biggest catalysts to help you find out who you really are. I don't think I could have found out who I really was beyond my conditioning and connect to the truth of who I am, so to speak, beyond what the surface level appearances make me attached to. I think that if I wasn't to spend time alone, I wouldn't be able to get closer to myself, because myself is something that is me, but it's hard to see that when I'm lost in the external world. For me, it's absolutely critical to be taking that time to meditate for myself, to be spending more time alone. It was critical for me to literally isolate myself from everything that I knew, the friends that I knew, the family that I was brought up in. I had to take that time alone. And this is not something that every single human being can do. This is only if you have a deep heart desire to find out the truth of who you really are, to find out the truth beyond this matrix, so to speak. Not to escape life, not to run away from life and pretend that it doesn't exist, but just to kind of detach a little bit from what you know. Like, it's so important to do that. For me personally, at least, it's so important for me. So this is just what works in my life. But I'm here to tell you that if you spend more time alone, you are going to get one step closer to connecting to that truth, to connecting to that deep inner wisdom that can only be accessed when you separate your true self from your lower self, from the ego, from the conditioning. You have a deep inner wisdom that can be tapped into at a much higher level when you step out of what you know and you choose to spend more time alone. And one thing I want to share with you before I get to the second point is, do not feel guilty. This is a big issue that a lot of people that are on the spiritual path, so to speak, or just not even just people that are on the spiritual path, any human being, period, has this issue. But especially if you're trying to find out who you truly are, this is a very critical thing that you need to know right now. Do not feel guilty for wanting to love yourself. Don't feel guilty for wanting to isolate. People are going to try to make you feel bad. They're going to try to project their own stuff onto you. I'm here to tell you right now, do not feel guilty for spending time alone. I mean, some people can't even spend time alone, and they can't even have the strength within themselves to fully step into that area of their life and be content with themselves. But if you are, and you're thinking about it, and you want to do it, then own that fully. You have a heart desire to find out the truth of who you really are. That does not make you a bad person. That makes you a truth seeker. That makes you somebody that wants to find out the truth of what you are. Spend that time and be with yourself if you desire, and do not feel bad for it. Which brings me to the second point. Cut out all negative people from your life. Negative people are going to be a block to finding out who you truly are. Now, in some circumstances, they can actually be very powerful teachers. I know that for me in my life. The previous narcissistic relationships that I had in my life, narcissistic friendships, were the narcissistic relationships and friendships that I had in my life it was a very, very powerful teacher, so to speak, because these situations in your life are not happening by accident. But the thing is, though, I'm not saying to intentionally put yourself into negative situations. I'm saying to cut out all the negative people from your life. Because we know that we have to do this, right? We know that we have to let go, but we hold on. Why? Why is it that we know that we have to release certain people from our life? We know that we have to release certain situations that we're stuck in out of our life, but we still hold on. Why is this the case? Well, this is a whole separate video. That's a whole separate video on its own. That's really a lack of self-love. But the thing is, though, if you really want to find out who you really are, if you really want to find out the truth of who you are, like I said, sometimes negative people can teach us things, but sometimes it's just about letting them go. That's all it is. You don't have to be with this person, You don't have to keep this person in your life. You don't have to keep that person holding you back from stepping into your truth. You don't have to hold on to that person. That person is actually holding you back. That's what it's doing. It's holding you back. And this is a very, very hard thing for a lot of people to do. It's hard for them to let go and to, excuse me once again, and to release these negative people from their life. You got to release it. You got to release these negative people, because these negative people are actually slowing down your growth. This is the thing. We think that we need to hold on. We think that we have to deal with this negativity. And sometimes in my life, I can say that a lot of stuff that I have attracted in my life in the past were very powerful teachers. Very, very powerful teachers. Very, very powerful lessons that I learned from life. Life itself taught me lessons by showing me reflections of my deeper subconscious wounds that I haven't become conscious of yet and released. But the thing is though, at some point, you don't have to give energy to negative people anymore. You just don't have to do it. I think this is the conclusion that I've come to based on just the lessons that I've learned and the messages that are popping up in my life right now. You don't have to give attention to negative people, because all they're doing is they're distracting you from the truth of who you are. Now, here's the thing though. I want to make this clear. This is not about holding anger. This is not about holding judgment. This is not about holding any negativity towards anybody, because I need to cut out this person because they're so negative and this person's unconscious and holding me back from my truth. It's not like that. It can come off like that sometimes, and sometimes that's just what might come through even from your true being. But the very, very important thing to understand here is this is not about judgment, because if you're judging the thing that you're letting go, you have not fully let go. Judgment of a person is actually just as toxic as whatever you're probably getting from that person. Because the thing is, you're always seeing a reflection. So if you're judging somebody else and you're giving out judgments and all these labels and all these criticisms, you're gonna get that back from people. So people are teachers, but still at a certain point, it's time to let go and it's time to release. It's time to let go of the people that are not in alignment with your higher self. It's time to release the things and the situations and the job that is probably not helping you in your life anymore, or that person that you might call a friend but really is judging you and criticizing you and not supporting what your heart truly wants. It's time to release these people out of your life, not out of hatred, not out of resentment, not out of judgment, not out of criticism, but because you love yourself and you have a deep desire to find out who you really are. This is how you get closer to who you really are. You accept, you release your judgments, you surrender your judgments, but then you deal with the subconscious issue, you deal with the person, you deal with the situation, and now you can move on. Okay, that's it. You don't have to keep dealing with the negative person or the negative situations. I thought that I had to for a long time, but I'm realizing now that I don't. And this is the thing though, it's really important for me to share that lesson of do not judge and do not hate. But once you get that lesson, you can literally just leave. You don't have to hold on. Cut it out. Cut out the person. Cut out the negativity. Stop feeding attention to negative people and negative situations. Where you focus your energy is where you will grow that energy. Energy flows where attention goes. Have you ever heard that quote? Energy goes where attention goes. So if you feed energy, keep giving your attention to all these negative situations, all these people, even your own thoughts about the negativity, that is going to feed it energy. So the thing you can do is actually just release it, let it go, and you're going to get one step closer to finding out who you really are. Now, the third thing, which is going to be, I would say the first two things were very, very important, but this is going to be extremely important, perhaps more important than the other 2 points, but I would say they're all equally as important though. The key to find out who you really are, and this is it right here. You want to go deep, you want to find out who you really are, this is it right now. Stop looking outside of yourself. People always say to themselves, I don't know who I really am, right? I've had people reach out to me for consultations, like one-on-one consultations, and one-on-one consultations, and they say to me, Francis, I don't know who I am. I just want to find who I am. I just want to find out who I am. Francis, who am I? And it's a very powerful question that you can ask yourself. But the problem is that we are looking outside of ourselves to find out who we are. Where are you trying to find yourself right now? Are you trying to find yourself in your career? Are you trying to find yourself in your relationships? Are you trying to find yourself in anything outside of you? Are you trying to find yourself in a hobby, in a friend, in a situation, in some kind of thing that you're doing? Because the truth is, who you truly are is not something that you will find outside of yourself. You will find it within. You will find it within. You won't find yourself in a thought. You won't find yourself, your true, I'm not talking about your lower self and your ego and this meat suit that we're attached to, this body. I'm not talking about your thoughts. I'm not talking about your emotions. If you try to find yourself in a thought, you will not find yourself in a thought. And I told you this one's going to go deep. This is the truth. This is how you find out who you really are. You're not going to find yourself, and you're not going to be in alignment with what you should be doing. I'm not going to say should, because I try to stay away from that word as much as possible. I'm not going to you have a true path. I'm not saying you don't have a path. I believe that we all have a unique soul path where we actually do something that is in alignment with who we really are. But the thing is though, you still can't find your true essence and your true identity in the doing of what it is that you're doing. I don't find who I am in my videos and my purpose. In fact, if I was to find who I was in my videos, that would create suffering because I'm attached to having a false sense of self. But that's actually a whole separate video that we'll save for another time. But the thing is though, if you're trying to find yourself in a thought, in an emotion, in your body, in your career, first of all, that's going to set you up for suffering. We'll get to that in another video. Comment down below if you want to see that video. But the thing is, who you truly are cannot be found in a thing, because who you truly are is not even a thing. It's completely formless. It's completely formless. I told you we were going to go deep. I tried to tell you we were going to go deep for this third point. So you got to brace yourself, because these are the videos that I'm going to be posting more from now on. The thing is, you are not a thing. You are not a thing. Now you are, in some ways you are, because this is the paradox of life, but the truth is that you're not. You are not a thing. Now you also are every single thing in your life. You are your tech. In some ways, you are not separate, and you are me and I am you, but also you are not anything. So how can this be the case? This is because who you truly are is actually consciousness. Okay, I'm just going to give you the truth straight. I'm not going to beat around the bush anymore. You are something much deeper than a thought. So this sense of you exist, I don't want to beat around the bush. Like, this is it. This is who you are. You are the sense of I before a thought comes in and says, I am something. That is the answer. If you got to rewatch that, then watch that again. You are the sense of I exist before even a thought comes in and says you are something. So before society says you are this, before your own mind says I am happy, I am sad. I mean, better to be a positive thought than a negative thought, right? But even the positive thoughts are not your true essence. So here's the trick. Stop looking outside of yourself to find who you really are. I don't want to go too deep in this video with all the esoteric I exist stuff, because that's all true, but I want to make this video a little bit more simple and just give you something to think about, which is the fact that you will never find your truth in something outside of you. Outside of you. Because you are in the external, but where is all that stuff coming from? Where is all this stuff coming from? Where is all this, like there's the career, there's the friend, there's the relationship, there's your thoughts. Where is all that spawning from? Where is all, that is all coming from who you truly are at the core. Once you align with who you truly are at the core, that is when you're going to be more in alignment with what you're supposed to be doing when you've connected with your being, but the being has to come first. So stop looking outside of yourself. Yourself, your true self is right here and has always been right here. And you think you're on this quest to find who you are. No, you're never gonna find who you are in something out there. You're gonna find it by realizing that it is already right here. Realize, meaning that you didn't gain an experience, you didn't get something in the external world, you realized what is already here now. So that's all I have for this video. Once again, if you want to work with me one-on-one personally, hit the link that's in the description box of this video to apply for a free consultation. And as always, have yourself a great day, and I'll see you in the next video.